I could have your attention, we still have a few people coming in, but I have it on excellent authority that the sun will rise again tomorrow morning. So you all can connect and can chat with each other tomorrow as well. But for right now, we commit to have everybody out on time. I know everyone has busy days. And so for right now, with now being the operative word, we do ask that you please take your seats so we can get started. All right. You there? If anybody doesn't know their table number, just look on your name tag. It'll be there. All right. You can tell we've not been together for a while just by the way people are greeting each other. Once again, please find your seats for us. Excellent, excellent. For those who I've not met or had an opportunity to meet, my name is Audrey Orr, and I currently serve as chair for Wicomico Public Library's Board of Trustees. This morning, I have the privilege and very real pleasure of welcoming everybody. Hard to believe that the last in-person Light of Literacy event, awards breakfast we had, was in 2019. Certainly much has happened since then, many changes. However, what has not changed is recognition of the importance of promoting literacy in our community. Your very presence here this morning demonstrates that, so I thank you for attending. With any project of this size, there's an entire team who pull together to make it a success. Please join me in thanking the people whose faces are the ones you see, whose voices you hear on the phone, and whose heart for service makes our library great. Will all the members of the library staff please stand? I know most of you are in the back of the room. And please, everyone, join me in giving them a round of applause for their tireless work for our community. I want to give a special thank you to our volunteer coordinator, Antia Bigelow, Grants and Outreach Manager, Aurelio Giannotti, Marketing Assistant, Amy Martin, Head of Programming and Outreach, Stephanie Daisy, and our Assistant Manager of Mobile Services, Sharon Joseph, who will be taking pictures during the event. I also want to thank our Board of Trustees, many of whom are here this morning, and I ask that they all stand. I know they're scattered around the room at different tables. I don't see anybody standing. All right, thank you. These individuals provide the direction, insight, and oversight, keeping us on course and making sure our community knows how important it is to have a well-run library. And of course, you'll be hearing from the library's executive director, Seth Hirschberger, a little later in the program. Seth, I think everyone knows you, but stand up anyway. Thank you. There you are. To there? I think there. Forward? Okay. We have a number of local officials joining us this morning. I don't know if anyone from Maryland State delegates made it. I know we talked to several folks. I don't know if any were able to attend. Johnny Motz was joining us. I don't know if he's arrived yet. He is scheduled to be here. And I believe Mary Beth Carroza. I don't know if Mary Beth is here yet. I know Mrs. Rose is with us. Carol, if you wouldn't mind standing, because I know Mary Beth will join wherever you are. Thank you. And from the city of Salisbury, our mayor, Jack Heath, is with us. Jack. And Wicomico County Executive, Ms. Giordano, is here, I believe. Yes. Hello, Julie. And she's joined with her Director of Administration, Bunky Luffman. Bunky's here, yes. And our President of Wicomico County Council, John Cannon, is with us. John, see that? And Josh Hastings was planning on joining us. I don't know if Josh has arrived yet. He has. Good. And Josh. And also various other officials. I apologize if I'm missing anyone else from the counties, whether the city that I've missed. Thank you. I believe from Senator Von Holland's office, Alyssa Hastings is joining us. Is Alyssa here yet? Alyssa, hi. Thank you. And as if you've had a chance to look at the agenda and the program, you can see that this morning we have with us as well several folks who will be speaking. Dr. Micah Stauffer, Superintendent of our Board of Ed County Schools. Also, Dr. Carolyn Ringer-Laprie, President of Salisbury University, will be with us and speaking this morning, as well as Mrs. Leslie Porter Cabell from Workforce, who's the Workforce Director for Lower Shore Workforce Alliance. You'll be hearing from her a little later on during the program. So. Also, will you join me in saying a big thank you to our sponsors. Without their support, this morning's event would not be possible. You'll see their names in the program and on the slides during the event today. And as you visit their businesses and locations over the next few weeks, please take a few minutes to thank them for supporting the work of literacy and learning in our community. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Friends of Wicomico Public Libraries and a fellow member of the board, Farah Yahya. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Yahya.
Good morning. Welcome to the 9th Annual Light of Literacy Awards Breakfast. Today we are gathered here to appreciate and recognize the organizations and individuals who have been working in numerous ways to promote literacy in education, finance, health, art, and digital literacy. We, the Friends of Library, are honored to highlight the valuable services of our award nominees. We hope all of you consider becoming friends of the library and support the groups which are doing amazing work in our community. You will find the list of projects that the Friends support in the brochures we have on your table. And once again, we really, really appreciate everybody getting up so early in the morning and being here wide and awake. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like Reverend Wright to join me on the stage, please.
Yes.
Will the audience stand to say Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask the audience to remain standing, please, as Reverend John Wright of Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Salisbury leads us in invocation.
Thank you, Farah. Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, God, Allah, Yahweh, you who are known by many names and honored in diverse ways, we come together today to celebrate literacy and the power of words to transform lives. May we be mindful of the many blessings we enjoy, including the ability to read and write, which so many people throughout history and even today are denied. May we be grateful for the gift of knowledge, which enables us to learn from the wisdom of those who have come before us and to create a better future for ourselves and our communities. May we be inspired to use our literacy skills to build bridges of understanding across differences, to advocate for justice and unity, and to empower those who have been silenced or marginalized. May we be reminded of the inherent worth and dignity of all beings, regardless of their literacy level, and strive to create a world where everyone has access to education and the freedom to express themselves. May this gathering be a time of joy, connection, and renewal, and may the spirit of love and compassion guide us in all that we do. Amen, Amen, blessed be, and may it be so.
Thank you, Reverend, for such beautiful words. You may be seated, please. So at this time, I know everybody's had some coffee. Some people are craving to go and get some coffee and some breakfast. Some people already told me the last meal they had was 5 o'clock last evening, so I better hurry up. So at this point, Civic Center staff will be stopping by your table and invite you to the buffet line. Please enjoy your breakfast, and while doing so, take a moment to review the Friends membership form, which is inserted in your brochure, and you don't even have to look for a pen to fill out the brochure, the form. Okay. So if you have any questions, we have a Friends table right at the entrance. You can ask those questions, and I'll let you go and enjoy the breakfast now. Thank you. As you're eating, please take your time looking at our brochure with all the sponsors, all the nominees, they're there. Also, if you haven't had time to fill out the Friends membership, please go ahead, but we are getting quite a few membership forms on the desk, so which is very encouraging for us. And if you would like, on your way out, please look at the banners in the hallway. We have all the services that we support. And outside you see a large blue bus. That's our mobile services. This is our new addition to our library services. Please do visit. It's a beautiful, high-tech bus that has so many amazing things that we take to different facilities. So please do check it out. Okay. So since it has been several years since we were together at this event, we want to take this opportunity before the start of the main program to hear updates from a couple of local organizations that strongly promote literacy in our community. At this point, I would like to invite Leslie Porter Cabell, Workforce Director of the Lower Shore Work Alliance, and Dr. Carolyn Ringer-Lepre, President of the Salisbury University, to please join me on stage. First, I would like to ask Dr. Lepre to please come to the podium and address the audience.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I am so pleased to be here with you today, and I'm excited to see so many people gathered here this morning for this beautiful breakfast, members of our community, to celebrate education and literacy, two things that are certainly near and dear to my own heart and to all of Salisbury University. I've spent the majority of my career in higher education, and I have witnessed firsthand over and over and over again the immense life-changing power of literacy. I have seen this wonderful gift impact countless lives throughout my career. Over the years, I've watched many former students go on to achieve some truly remarkable things, lead successful lives, and have rewarding careers, which is the ultimate goal for a lot of us here. And it is all through the support in the form of traditional and informational literacy that they receive in and out of our classrooms. But I've also seen what literacy can do for people on a more personal level. The simple act, for instance, of gifting your favorite book to someone else can truly be life-altering. It has the power to make someone feel seen and appreciated and to see themselves in the pages of the book that you may have given them. And that small gift can ignite a new curiosity or develop a new or reinvigorated passion for learning. The impact through literacy comes in many shapes and sizes, and this is something that the Light of Literacy Awards recognizes very well. This award highlights all of those who are making a difference: students, teachers, volunteers, community leaders, businesses, and nonprofits, all who play a vital role in supporting and advocating for literacy and education within our community, a foundation, something that I think we all believe in. So I am delighted to be here today on behalf of Salisbury University to share this event with you all and to celebrate some truly deserving people and businesses who for doing the transformative work that they do every single day. So thank you so much for inviting me to be here today, and I'm pleased to be here with you. Have a wonderful rest of the breakfast.
Thank you, Dr. Lepre. We are very excited to have you at the helm of Salisbury University, and we are very, very excited to see the great things happening under your leadership. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Leslie Porter Cabell to please come to the podium.
Good morning. The Lower Shore Workforce Alliance is a division of the Tri-County Council of the Lower Eastern Shore. We facilitate education to career pathways, including resume assistance, internships, certifications for CDL, RNA, IT, and HVAC certification, just to name a few, as well as on-the-job training to assist employers and job seekers from Somerset, Wicomico, and Worcester counties through various tiers of state and federal funding. Please go to our website, lswa.org, to obtain more information and our resources. To present at this amazing event, I had to do my homework, and here's what I learned. The definition of literacy has evolved. The older, more traditional definition of literacy is the ability to read, write, speak, and listen in a way that lets us communicate effectively and make sense of the world. The newer definition of literacy is the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute using printed and written materials associated with varying contexts. Both definitions are relevant. There are 4 types of literacy defined as 21st century. Reading and writing, the ability to read and write. Digital literacy means having the skills you need to live, learn, and work in a society where communication and access to information is increasingly through digital technologies like internet platforms, social media, and mobile devices. Developing your critical thinking skills. Financial literacy, the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. And cultural literacy, meaning the ability to understand the traditions, regular activities, and history of a group of people from a given culture. How many of you were exposed and aware that there are now 4 types of literacy defined as 21st century literacy? I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you with your hands up are baby boomers? How many of you are Gen X? That's 1965 to 1980. How many of you with your hands up were millennials? 1981 to 1996. And how many of you are Gen Z, 1997 to 2012? As I meet young people and even little toddlers who are smart, worldly, verbal, and tech savvy, which is phenomenal. Although earlier generations, I'm a baby boomer, did not have cell phones to make calls or an app for directions or online banking, we learned social skills, made our predetermined curfews, used public phones, which were gross, and read maps to navigate our destinations and behavior to make it home safely. Although we didn't have online banking, we had a ledger to manually record all our transactions, which kept our accounts in order without the unpredictability of online banking transactions and random fees. We have come a long way, but we should be mindful that as we move forward ahead, not to dismiss, but to incorporate what is still relevant. I have heard in many places across the country where they no longer teach cursive, which will not allow students to read older documents like the Constitution, classic literature, or sign your name, which seems counterintuitive and undermines social and intellectual equity. Studies show that the process of learning and using cursive expands the brain. Psychology Today, October 2020. Please remember that young people are smart, but yet not wise, and will need the guidance of parents, grandparents, teachers, counselors, and other advisors who have lived and can impart needed wisdom. Thank you, and congratulations to all award recipients.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cabell, for a very insightful talk. At this point, I would like to ask my...
Thank you.
Please.
Thanks so much.
So now we are about to start our main program, and I would like to invite our MC. Ready? Okay. I would like to invite our MC, Dr. Scott Duncan, to come to the stage, please.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see such a large crowd here once again, and to be back again after a couple of years away from this event. Most importantly, it gives us another opportunity to lift up the lives and passions of people who have contributed so much to our community with their work in literacy. And thank you, Farah, for your work. And I'm sure that you all know Miss Jordy Clark from WMDT, that's 47 ABC. She will be reading excerpts from each of the nominations that we will recognize this morning. Jody, please take the stage. And will Susan Bounds please join me on the stage? Susan Bounds is a past member of the library's Board of Trustees and past chair of the Friends of the Wicomico Public Libraries. She will be assisting the award sponsors in making today's presentations. Before we start naming this year's honorees, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the winners of the 2020 Light Literacy event. As you may recall, that event had to be canceled because of COVID. Would those luminaries from 2020 who are in the attendance this morning please stand? Thank you. All right, we will begin now with the Organization Luminary Award, sponsored by the Richard A. Henson Foundation. Will their representative please join us on stage? As Jordy reads sections of their nominations, we ask that our nominees please stand and remain standing, and that you hold your applause until all the nominees are announced. Coastal Hospice.
Since 1980, Coastal Hospice has been providing end-of-life services and education to the 4 lower counties, Wicomico, Worcester, Somerset, and Dorchester. It is the gold standard in our area for end-of-life services, but also for education and outreach. Those efforts include speaking engagements, health fairs, grief support groups, and collaborations with the MAG Center for National Healthcare Decisions Day, annual MAG Alzheimer's Conference, and the MAG Caregiver Training Program. Hospice fills a special need in our area by educating not just medical professionals, patients and caregivers, but also the general public on how to provide comfort, support, and minimize pain at the end of life.
Delmarva Mediterranean Market.
Samaya Ahmed, the co-owner of Delmarva Mediterranean Market, is a bright light to those in her community, but also to anyone who enters her store. She patiently and clearly articulates any questions with regards to the ingredients needed to prepare a dish. Samaya is a graduate of UMES and encourages the youth to excel in their classes. She is a role model for all.
Eastern Shore Literacy Association.
The Eastern Shore Literacy Association is a chapter of the State of Maryland Literacy Association. For over 30 years, it has served the citizens of the Lower Eastern Shore in its efforts to promote literacy. The organization is comprised of educators, administrators, university students, and professors, educational assistants, daycare providers, parents, and all persons who are passionate about reading literacy. They work with teachers, school librarians, and higher education to create networks of collaboration and lifelong professional development. Community outreach is central to the organization's mission.
Needle Eye Academy.
Founded in 2020, the Needles Eye Academy provides opportunities for students of color in rural school districts to participate in engaging in culturally relevant literacy and arts activities that are unavailable to them elsewhere. The Academy partners with school districts and nonprofits to provide extracurricular interdisciplinary literacy program for middle and high school students. They partner with local businesses to make diverse literature more accessible, provide opportunities for students to work to be shared at events such as the Library of Congress and National Book Festival and Cherry Tree Young Writers Conference, and create a platform for sharing the community's oral histories through literary light bulb movements.
The award for this year's organization luminary is presented by Tom Evans, the chair of the Board of Trustees for the Richard A. Henson Foundation.
Well, thank you. Good morning to everyone. Stacy, our executive director, got me up early this morning. I'm actually glad she did. You know, I think if Mr. Henson was here this morning, he would want to thank all of you for giving of your time, your talent, and your treasure to help others in our community. So on behalf of the Richard A. Henson Foundation, it is my pleasure to award the Organization Luminary Award to the Eastern Shore Literacy Association, an organization that promotes education and better communications, which opens many doors to success through learning. Congratulations. Join me. Okay.
Next is the Higher Education Luminary Award. The Higher Education Luminary Award is sponsored by Salisbury Apartments. Will their representative please join us on the stage? Again, as Jordy reads sections of their nominations, will the nominees please stand and remain standing, and then hold your applause until all are announced. Dr. Kamal Alzadi.
Dr. Alzadi is an assistant professor at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore who prepares students to become physician assistants. His health literacy instruction includes coursework in involving biomedical and clinical sciences, and he emphasizes the application of his knowledge to patient care in the practice of medicine. Dr. Alzadi encourages his students to argue, discuss, and debate issues and findings. He mentors and motivates students and co-workers alike.
Dr. Charles Grattan Baldwin.
Dr. Baldwin is an award-winning author, president of the Eastern Shore Literacy Association, and professor and the director of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Masters in Literacy program. He provides literacy instruction at both the undergraduate and graduate school levels, earns grants, provides graduate assistant employment, and has engaged in multiple studies about K-12 and higher education literacy.
Adam Tavel.
Professor Adam Tavel is a widely acclaimed and published poet. For nearly 2 decades, he has demonstrated his commitment to elevate literacy and promote literature by designing and teaching a variety of composition, creative writing, and literature classes at Warwick Community College. As co-founder and lead faculty editor of the award-winning Echoes and Visions, Warwick's literary journal, and one of Warwick's oldest campus traditions, he has connected people with poetry and, in doing so, created a community of literacy.
The award for this year's Higher Education Luminary is presented by Christy Schockfe, Community Manager for Salisbury Apartments.
Good morning. I'm pleased to provide this award to Adam Taver.
Accepting on behalf of Professor Tavel is Charles Porter, the head of the Department of Art and Humanities at Warwick. Student Luminary. The Student Luminary Award is sponsored by Avery Hall Insurance Group. Will their representative please join us on stage? Dalen Ballard.
Dalen has played a crucial role in the success of the Pause to Read, a program which provides children with the opportunity to read aloud to therapy dogs in a relaxed and non-judgmental environment. Their patience, kindness, and empathy have helped to create a safe and nurturing environment for program participants, both human and animal alike.
Presenting the award for this year's Student Luminary Award is Joe Gast, President of Avery Hall Insurance Group.
On behalf of Avery Hall Insurance, I want to congratulate Dalen, and it's awesome to see a youth that gives back to our community and doing volunteer service. Thank you.
The Adult Luminary Award is sponsored by Tidal Health. Will their representative please join us on stage? Once again, as Jody reads from the nominations, that you hold your applause until the end of all nominees are announced. Chris Eccleston and Jenny Schroen.
Chris and Jenny, authors of the book Grit Leads to Greatness, are capturing local and national attention with their mission to spread the word of the importance of education for skilled tradespeople. The children's book develops high interest in building a workforce with special attention to plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters, and welders. They visited local schools to share their story of doing great things with the right training and support from family, educators, and the workforce community. They work with various sponsors to present copies of the book to each 3rd through 5th grade student.
Edward Lee.
Edward S. Lee has held a lifelong passion for financial literacy, led by his desire to teach the local community, particularly low and moderate income families, non-English-speaking citizens, and minorities. He founded Teach Them to Fish, LLC, in 2005. Teach Them to Fish is a free financial literacy program offering personalized instruction, classes taught by industry and financial professionals, and guided literature. Mr. Lee has worked with Wicomico Public Schools curriculum development staff to develop a new financial literacy curriculum which will be implemented next year, and he is currently collaborating with Warwick Community College to develop a financial literacy boot camp for students to be taught at the college. He continuously strives to better his local community and is a firm believer that improved financial literacy will strengthen it.
Ann Mady.
Anne trained and worked as a nurse practitioner, but developed an interest in teaching English language learners after her family hosted several foreign exchange students. She has worked with adult speakers of other languages and volunteered as a coach for adult learners in the Wicomico County Public Schools system. Since 2018, Anne has been a dedicated Project Read volunteer. In addition to working with beginning readers, Anne is a member of several adult reading groups, including a Great Books discussion group, and is coordinator for the Institute of Retired Persons Book Club.
Nancy Mitchell.
Nancy Mitchell, our inaugural poet laureate of the city of Salisbury, gives enormous amounts of time and energy to our community. First as an English teacher at St. Francis School and later as a creative writing professor at SU, she has inspired and educated hundreds of young minds. Nancy organizes innovative workshops, poetry readings, and other literary events that celebrate poetry from preschool to senior citizens. She continues to advocate for local aspiring poets through her continuing work on projects such as Poets on the Plaza, an upcoming anthology of Salisbury's poets, her work with 1 Year to Empowerment, and the Poetry Postbox in collaboration with Wicomico Public Libraries.
Dr. Samir Tajuddin Sheikh Abdul.
Dr. Sheikh and his team of doctors and nurses on Tidal Health's COVID response team not only provided excellent, timely, and effective medical treatment to the COVID patients under their care, but also disseminated useful and educational information to the patients, their caregivers, and the community. The relentless campaign to mitigate the spread of the disease through the timely and effective communication of relevant medical information through the medium of Zoom conferences as well as other direct approaches greatly served our local community at this uniquely challenging time.
Presenting the award for this year's Adult Luminary is Dr. Catherine Fiddler from Tidal Health.
Tidal Health is honored to be here today to celebrate the Literacy of Light of Literacy Awards. We recognize literacy, and the work to improve health literacy for all is critical to meeting our mission to improve the health of the communities we serve. Today we are honored to present this award to Mr. Edward Lee.
Educator Luminary. The Educator Luminary Award is sponsored by First Shore Federal Savings and Loan Association. Will their representative please join us? And once again, please hold your applause until all of the nominees are announced. Katie Byrne.
Katie Byrne is the librarian at Pinehurst Elementary School. She provides creative ideas for Read Across America and hosts a book fair at Pinehurst each year. She has also been involved in reaching out to children through efforts at Camden Community Garden.
Dr. Rebecca Maldonado.
Dr. Maldonado teaches 9th grade English language arts for struggling and reluctant readers, special education students, and English language learners at Parkside High School. She uses innovative materials and teaching methods and integrates science and math literacy in her curriculum to encourage her students to develop not only their literacy skills, but an interest in reading. Rebecca's approach to English language instruction is the type of innovative, comprehensive approach that our community's diverse student population needs.
Presenting the award for this year's Educator Luminary will be Ms. Diane Turner, President and CEO of First Shore Federal.
It's an honor to be here to recognize an educator that makes a difference in so many lives. And it's like planting a seed that just continues to grow. And I appreciate the ability to be here and honor all of you that makes a difference in many lives. I would like to present the award to Dr. Rebecca Maldonado. Thank you.
Digital Literacy Award. The Digital Literacy Award, try to say that a lot. The Digital Literacy Award is sponsored by the Friends of Wicomico Libraries. Will their representative please join us on the stage? Ebony Barkley.
Ebony is the media specialist at Beaver Run Elementary School. She is tasked with teaching digital literacy skills to students from pre-K to grade 2. She has students as young as 4 and 5 writing research projects and teaches them to use their skills to find accurate information using reliable internet resources. She has also found ways to encourage them to program their own games and create other digital content. Ebony has hosted technology nights to educate parents about how to keep their children safe online. She is a great resource for her students, teachers, and parents when it comes to digital literacy.
Chris Cuppett.
Chris is a trailblazer in the use of technology in a classroom setting. After using technology within his own 3rd grade classroom, he became the first technology coach in Wicomico County Public Schools. He was tasked with developing a program of working with students and teachers to do more than just use technology, but to develop their digital literacy. Chris teaches that technology should not be used for technology's sake, but should have a defining principle that develops our students into well-rounded digital citizens. His work has impacted thousands of teachers, and more importantly, tens of thousands of students.
Jess Ferrara Emhoff.
Jess has been an amazing advocate for English as second language families. She represents families that do not have the resources to supply Wi-Fi and internet services for their children. Jess seeks to find avenues for these families to explore, including in partnership with the Wicomico Public Libraries through their Mobile Learning Lab and Hotspot program. She connects with families on nights, weekends, and sometimes holidays to ensure that she is able to provide the support that they need. She is truly a light in the world of literacy.
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson is always available to help with digital media at the Mac Center in Salisbury. He makes himself available to help set up computer equipment, projectors, and other technology required by course instructors, and has stayed beyond his normal working hours to help whenever needed. Since retiring, he has continued to provide digital assistance for Mac activities and programs. He is a great instructional asset for instructors at the Mac Center.
Chelsea Phillips Hutton.
Chelsea has a vision for planned and collaborating partnerships to assist budding entrepreneurs from underserved communities in areas including financial literacy, business planning, and the literacy skills needed to market their endeavor. Chelsea has established connections and partnerships with Wicomico Public Libraries, the Small Business Development Center, Tri-County Council, and the Greater Salisbury Committee in the planning of this initiative. Working together with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce and a SCORE organization, a curriculum was developed which is designed to close the gap in resources available to those looking to go into business for themselves. These partnerships contribute to a comprehensive approach to grow minority business ventures on the Lower Shore.
Rebirth Community School and Support Center.
Rebirth Inc., a nonprofit located in Salisbury, operates a virtual technology learning and support center for vulnerable populations. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, when schools were closed for in-person learning, Rebirth began to provide access to virtual classrooms, tutoring, and homework assistance for children in the community whose families lacked the technology and skills to continue learning virtually from home. It also runs a radio station, WRBY 100.5, with programming in Creole, English, and Spanish in order to communicate with large populations of non-English speaking residents.
Presenting the award for this year's Digital Literacy Luminary will be Valerie Murphy, a member of the Friends of the Wicomico Public Libraries and the past chair of the library's Board of Trustees.
As Leslie mentioned earlier, the definition of literacy has changed so much in our lifetime, and in today's world, digital literacy is absolutely essential in creating a level playing field for everybody. On behalf of the Friends of Wicomico Public Libraries, I'm honored to present this award to Rebirth Community School and Support Center.
Accepting the award on behalf of Rebirth Community School and Support Center is the Executive Director, Habaki Petion. Now please join me in offering a round of applause for all of our nominees and award winners. And thank you to my co-host, Jody Clark, for her help today, too. At this time, would Audrey Orr, Chair of the Library's Board of Trustees, join us on the stage? There you are. Liz Balavance was an educator, social activist, patron of the arts, and true advocate of literacy. Please be sure to take a moment and read her story in the printed program. This award is not presented every year. It is designated by the Board of Trustees of Wicomico Public Libraries to recognize a person or organization whose efforts to promote literacy in our community reach far beyond the definition of any single category.
We are very pleased to be able to present the Liz Belavance Legacy Award to a recipient who truly embodies Mrs. Belavance's compassion and work ethic, Miss Nancy Mitchell.
Accepting the award on behalf of Ms. Mitchell is Mayor Jack Heath.
As far as the place, okay. Yeah, Nancy was so regretful that she was not able to attend today, but she has sent us, if it works, a special audio message. So please, everyone be quiet.
I sure wish I could be with you there this morning at the Friends of Wicomico Public Libraries Live Literacy Awards ceremony. You have no idea how humbled and honored and over the moon I am to be the recipient of the Liz Belavance Legacy Award. I had the great fortune of knowing Mrs. Belavance. She was renowned in our city as a woman.
Well, we'll give it one more second.
And a sacred duty and privilege to serve our community by fostering cultural literacy. I promise you to do my best to hold a candle to her considerable light. Thank you, and thank you to the Friends of Wicomico Public Libraries for keeping the light of literacy lit and alive.
Okay, good. And that it was wonderful to hear from Nancy herself, and thank Farah for finding the technology to bring that audio to us. Farah, you join us back on the stage. You've heard of technical difficulties. Well, this is a wearing our glasses difficulty, so it comes to all of us at some point or another. So, but Farah will be coming back up, and we'll shortly introduce our next speaker. I hope everyone's had a chance to enjoy this morning. We were actually running on schedule, on time, and that was my main job, so I guess they'll keep me. Okay, thank you, Farah.
I like how she put it, glass emergency. Anyhow, so at this point, I would like to thank Jordy, Scott, and Susan, and congratulations from our heart, from the hearts of all the friends, to the nominees and all the award winners for doing an amazing job in this community, and please continue to do so. And all of us who are here can be inspired by them. We can be partners with them, and we can do whatever we can, financially, physically, emotionally, as a community, to build this community better, stronger, and moving forward in the next years, a community that people would love to come to and settle in our community. Because we have ocean, we have university, we have a great hospital, we have a lot to offer, but sometimes people are concerned about our education system. So if we make our education attractive to people from outside, they will come and settle in Salisbury. So let's work on that. So at this time, I would like to invite, I have the privilege to introduce our today's speaker, Micah Stauffer, Superintendent of Wicomico County Public School. I would like to welcome Dr. Stauffer to the stage, please.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here and share remarks this morning. And I want to start by thanking the Wicomico Public Library, Seth Hirschberger, his entire team, the Light of Literacy Committee for their invitation, and more importantly, their support. Our school system does enjoy a tremendous amount of support from all of them and all of you in this room, and we are very grateful for that. So thank you all so much. And it's an honor to have this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful program and to celebrate and champion literacy in our community and in our schools, and to have so many representatives from our school system here as well. So when Seth originally asked me to share some remarks at this program, it was last August, and I was just stepping into the role of superintendent. I was still in the stage of saying yes to everything at that time, so he caught me at a good moment. And I was like, sure, May is 10 months away, that's no problem. Well, here it is May, and the life of a superintendent is pretty busy, especially this time of year, but I am here, and I am so excited to be here this morning. So when I was growing up in this community, my mother worked for the Wicomico Public Defender's Office downtown, and she was a law clerk and a clerical assistant there for over 30 years. And before where it is now, in the district court building, it was in a building on Main Street, right across from the courthouse. It had a green awning. I think it's currently a bail bonds business now, and the awning is a different color. But I distinctly remember that in the summertime, when I was too old to no longer be watched by someone all day, but I was still too young really for my mom to leave me at home all day, I think in her mind, probably because I was going to mess something up or eat all the food in the house at the time, she would leave me a list of chores to do in the morning and then sometimes swing by the house on her lunch break and take me back to work with her in the afternoons. And of course, I didn't last too long at work. It was a smaller office back then, and she would find somewhere to send me on my way. And education was something that was always stressed to me by both of my parents, but especially my mom. And her directive each time in these afternoons was to go to the library and find something to read and learn something, and then later I'd have to come back and tell her what I had learned. But before I left to go, I always managed to get a couple of dollars from her so that I could swing by Woolworths first to enjoy a milkshake. And after the milkshake, I would walk around the corner to the old city police station back then and see my father, who was working for the Salisbury City Police Department. And then I'd ask him for a couple of bucks. I had to be careful of my wording because I knew there was a good chance that later that night my parents would be comparing notes, and I didn't want to actually get caught being dishonest. So after choosing my words carefully, from there it was back to Woolworths for round 2. But I promised Seth I did actually make it to the library eventually, and I had my trusty blue library card in my hand. And after the 2 rounds of milkshakes, I would eventually become immersed in Judy Blume or Beverly Cleary and later Louis L'Amour. Those would be my picks. And I remember I enjoyed those books a lot. And those are my earliest personal memories of what I would term literacy today. And now fast forward to the present. I have 2 children myself, both beyond an age as compared to those earlier memories that I just shared. But one is in college in his 2nd year, and the other a sophomore in high school at James M. Bennett. And when I told them I was going to be speaking on digital literacy today, they both just laughed. They were like, "Dad, you only have an iPhone 7. What do you know about digital literacy?" And they're probably right. I get it. I'm not the most qualified person to be up here this morning speaking about digital literacy. That's why I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about milkshakes. But I do have some thoughts, and hopefully I can fill the second half of my speech with something that's a little more meaningful. So for me, as a superintendent, I think of it this way. This coming fall, as a school system, we're going to be welcoming about 800 pre-K students into our schools. Or you can think of them as the class of 2037. That makes it a little bit more real. The class of 2037. What's the world going to be like in 2037? How is literacy going to change? It makes digital literacy seem so much more real and so much more important when you think about it that way. And while the word literacy alone obviously usually refers to reading and writing skills, when you tack on the word digital before it, the term encompasses really a lot more. Sure, reading and writing are still very much at the heart of digital literacy. But given the new and ever-changing ways we use technology to receive and communicate information, digital literacy also encompasses a much broader range of skills. Everything from reading on a device to gauging the validity of a website or creating and sharing YouTube videos. So, Seth, I did look it up. The American Library Association's Digital Literacy Task Force offers this definition. Digital literacy is the ability to use information and communication technologies to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information, requiring both cognitive and technical skills. So consuming digital content today looks pretty much the same as reading print. Reading a novel on a device requires knowing how to turn the device on and flip the pages back and forth. But other than that, it isn't so different from reading a book. A PDF of a Daily Times article looks a lot like the page of a printed newspaper, except that it appears on a screen. They term this more offline reading. In comparison, online reading, in which a digital text is read through the internet, requires a whole host of additional skills. For instance, that same Daily Times article viewed on the web may contain hyperlinks, videos, audio clips, images, interactive graphics, share buttons, or a comments section. Features that force the reader to stop and make decisions rather than simply reading from top to bottom. Meaning that the design of the same text, that same article, could lead to many different experiences for multiple readers. The reader determines their experience in a way. Also, part of digital literacy is learning to search for content in an online space. Students have to query a search engine using keywords and navigate those results, including assessing the reliability of particular authors and websites. What is fake news and not fake news? And digital literacy also refers to content creation. That includes writing in digital formats such as email, blogs, and social media, as well as creating other forms of media, such as videos and podcasts. What about sharing and communicating? They're also a part of digital literacy. While traditional writing can be a very personal endeavor, digital writing is generally intended to be communicated with others. And digital writing tools are designed to make that easy to do. That makes digital writing a very powerful tool. It requires collaboration, participation, engagement with others. So with great power comes great responsibility, not only today, but what about in the world that the class of 2037 will see? So from my standpoint, we as educators have a lot to teach the class of 2037. What is the world in that time frame in 2037 going to be like? I mean, think about it. The class of students graduating this year, the class of 2023, never knew a time before cell phones. So what about the class of 2037? So I did a little research. So with advancements in health and medicine, people are going to be living a lot longer, they say. And this is research. This isn't necessarily my thoughts, but they say that most cars will be driving themselves by 2037. Crops in some points will be grown in vertical farms right around populated areas, so the large horizontal farms won't require as much space. One website I looked at said that meat and meat tissue will be artificially generated for consumption. Now this one I'm not really too sure about. I know artificial engineering is amazing in what they can do, but I like Texas Roadhouse just the way it is right now. What about communication? Cell phones may be a thing of the past. It says everything will be smart at that point in time. You're going to have smart lenses, smart jewelry, smart devices on what we wear. This one I am excited about. It said that smart lenses would have facial recognition built in so that it can help you remember people's names and tell you a little bit about who they are. So for those of you who are bad with names, there is hope. It's coming. So artificial intelligence will rapidly improve and significantly improve. It could be almost an extension of ourselves. We will spend most of our time in virtual worlds, whether at work or having fun. Instead of looking at a device, we will experience virtual worlds as if they were real, right there with us. They won't even seem artificial. But let's go back for a moment. So why did my mom harp on reading so much? Well, now I realize that reading is one of the most important skills that a person can have. It opens up a world of possibilities and allows people to learn about new things. It helps young people to develop their imagination. When children read, they are transported to different worlds and allowed to explore new ideas. Now link that with digital literacy in 2037. When you are reading, you are focusing and concentrating on one thing, and the practice of that skill transfers to so many other things that can help you be successful. When you read, you are using your memory muscles, which lie in the part of your brain that actually helps your long-term memory. Reading also greatly helps you improve your communication skills. And there are so many reasons why reading and writing in early ages and throughout life are important. Whether it's digital or not, essentially literacy is opportunity. Literacy provides access and opportunity, and those two things, along with hard work, lead to success in life. But now that literacy has the word digital in front of it, I think we have to consider that. And now that we know a little bit about the world, what it may be like in the future, I want to end with just a few teachable moments to think about for that class of 2037. Even though the world may change, and even though the definition of literacy may expand in the future, there is one key fundamental that I believe that we have to focus on for the benefit of the class of 2037. No matter how much things change, it points to the fact that some things cannot change. Citizenship. We have to make sure that we use digital literacy to focus on producing good citizens. Over the course of these next years, we as a society have an opportunity to develop the digital worlds that our children are raised in and will be living in and will be educated in. At the youngest age, children begin to learn who they can trust for accurate, trustworthy information that will keep them safe and happy. So this means talking about online safety and responsible behavior from the youngest ages. The faster children learn these digital character education skills, the better off they'll be. It's also important to set expectations and boundaries for our children's online behavior, to make sure they understand that their online actions reflect on them and their family. Explain that they should be responsible, accountable, and respectful online, and that consequences will follow if not. I always tell our new teachers and staff, one of the first things I do when I'm hiring someone is to simply Google them and check their social media. So my advice to young people is to always make sure your digital footprint is representative of who you really are and who you want other people to see you as. And lastly, the fact that children learn best by example. So as adults, we need to be sure to practice what we preach when it comes to our own online conduct. This includes being mindful about how we share personal information, being respectful to others online, and taking time away from screens, and remembering to sometimes just go back to that old-fashioned book. So by taking a proactive approach to helping our children develop essential digital literacy skills, we can ensure that they are well equipped to navigate the world of technology as they go forward now and well into the future. I just want to end today by saying thank you and congratulations to all of the award recipients and all of the nominees today. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I salute you and the creativity you have and the passion that you have for literacy. It's really exciting to see, from my perspective, what's happening in our community. I think the future is very bright. What you're doing is making a difference in our community, and I know that the class of 2037 will be all the better for it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Stauffer, for sharing your thoughtful comments about digital literacy and speaking about the importance of early exposure to reading and education. Thank you very much. Before I announce my last speaker, I would like to ask all the nominees and all the award winners to please stay a little longer after our final speaker. We would like to take some group photos. Please, if you can spare some time, we would really appreciate it. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce Wicomico Public Library's Executive Director, Seth Hirschberger. Please welcome Seth. Please welcome Seth as he closes today's event by sharing some exciting information about our libraries.
Thank you. Good morning, all. I'd like to thank a few people for being here that we overlooked or that came lately. Mary Beth Carosa is in the house. Thank you. Our senator. We also have with us Tom Heyman, who is my predecessor in the job, director 3 directors ago of the library. Tom. Two years ago, the County Council and Library Board designated our downtown facility the Paul S. Sarbanes branch, and we've got that name all over the building now. Here with us today is Paul S. Sarbanes' brother, Tony Sarbanes. We rely on the county for most of our funding, but another very important source of revenue is the Maryland State Library Agency, and here with us today is the Maryland State Librarian, Irene Padilla. Thank you for attending our Light of Literacy Awards, and congratulations to all the 2023 luminaries and nominees. The library is very proud to shine a spotlight on each of you and the organizations you represent. We are thankful for the amazing things you do to advance literacy in our community. We want you to know that your mission is our mission, and we are here to champion your cause. We at the library love books and regard reading as an activity unique in its ability to enable education, spark innovation, and provide inspiration. But the library leads in recognizing that literacy in the broadest sense is about possessing the skills needed to thrive. And this year's theme and special award in the area of digital literacy is meant to highlight the library and its partners' role in helping people thrive in a world that largely functions in a digital environment. In closing, I'd like to make one final appeal to everyone here to join our Friends of the Library. You can learn about the benefits of being a member, the different tiers of membership, and join as you walk out this morning here at this table or on wicomicolibrary.org. I'd like to take every person here on a tour of the library if I could, so you can see for yourself what it is that you would be supporting by becoming a Friends of the Library. Visit the library on any typical afternoon, and you'll walk around, and what you will see is common ground and community. You'll see people engaged in lifelong learning. You see people helping other people. You see people being educated and inspired. You see people embracing a higher quality of life for themselves and for their children. Our main branch downtown is in an old converted armory building that has seen better days, but on the inside it is bursting with life and vibrancy. In the children's area, parents read with their children. Seniors are there to pick up books they have requested or to browse the stacks, perhaps on a hunt for a history or a good mystery to keep their minds sharp. Teens are often gathered around a table of computers talking with each other in person as they also interact on a shared digital platform. In our Project Read space, a volunteer coach meets with a person who needs help learning to read. Over in the Community Support Center, a social worker assists patrons with job searching or with locating housing options. In meeting rooms, people meet for all kinds of reasons to discuss a book they've all read. People look to improve their lives, are there studying for the GED. Recent immigrants are studying English as a second language. And volunteers are everywhere throughout the building, giving their time because they believe in the special mission of the library as a valuable county resource that belongs to everyone. I'd like to say a special thanks to our county executive, Ms. Giordano, who is here, for proposing a county budget for FY24 that for the first time finally restores library funding for operation to the level of 15 years ago. Yes, thank you. I encourage our members of council, we have John Cannon and Josh Hastings here in the room with us, to likewise support this increase. We still have a lot of catching up to do, and I would encourage members of council and county executive to also support our coming capital request to bring better facilities and library spaces for the people of Wicomico County. Yes. It is very heartening, and I know I speak on the behalf of many in the room, our library supporters, our friends of the library, our staff, and many of our patrons, to have leadership at the county level that recognizes the public library as a valuable asset for economic development and for quality of life that must be maintained. Thank you. I got some applause lines in there. Thank you to the many Friends of the Library volunteers and staff who contributed to this event, especially Chair Farayaya and Library Board President Audrey Orr. Please support our sponsors that you see in the program and consider becoming a Friends of the Library at the table here or again at the website wicomicolibrary.org. Congratulations, Light of Literacy Award luminaries. The program is concluded. Bless you all and have a very good day.